This is the wine to drink.
It's a nice balance. There's a very nice acidity in that.
Thank you so much.
This is darker, as you can tell. This is the 2000. I think it's about $57 retail.
Yeah, around $50. Yeah.
And this is 5 petunias. 2000. So let's give it a try. Much darker in color.
So we really upgrade in terms of sugar now. But it's accompanied by a higher acidity as well. In 2000 was a very special vintage at Riccobono. We even managed to sold also berries, which is quite rare because it's a fortune and every single winery just want to have more and more and more every year. And that's fantastic about Riccobono, about our vineyard. We just produce a lot.
Getting a lot of pineapple on the nose.
Exactly. Very exotic.
Yeah, very nice. This is 11.5% alcohol. Just
let's drink it.
That's why I want to do it so early in the day.
We can do that.
Really long finishes. Like I can still feel it, really coats your mouth. I can still taste it 20-30 seconds later. There's also a little minerality in there. It's not just the, the pineapple.
Very complex. When you turn your glass, it basically just shows different faces all the time. So it's long, but it's changing.
It's like a thinking wine. There's different things going on.
I mean, you can,
fruits.
Yeah, you can think, but you can drink it as well, like easily.
That's really nice.
So you see, you can imagine with oyster, with all these
I definitely can.
right?
The challenge is getting the rest of the people at least in the United States to realize that. I mean, I think I read somewhere when I was reading about Jean-Guillaume, he doesn't want to call it a dessert wine. He wants to call it kind of a sweeter wine. It's that they've been labeled dessert wines, and people think they should only be drunk with dessert. And also, the sommeliers need to be educated. Actually, as we were talking about this when I was in Bordeaux, is that when you go to a restaurant, a lot of people are asking for recommendations, and even the top restaurants in New York City, they never talk about a sweeter wine to go with the course. I mean, I think that the education kind of starts there, especially when people are at good restaurants and looking for unique wines to drink.
That's our test, so feel free to experiment it, please.
This is about right around the same price, right? This is the 016 petunias.
Yeah, it's around $60.
$60. And this is also 100% ferment.
100% ferment, and I would like to add that the 6 Petunia Chateau is not the wine that we produce every year. It's a very sophisticated wine because the sugar level is much higher than in the case of Fire Free. So you need to have very fresh vintage in order to arrive to the right acidity and the right crispiness. So when you taste it, you will get a much higher sugar, but the perception of the sugar will not be there.
Okay.
Right?
So you make this how often? We
make it, let's say, 3 or 4 times per decade, so it's quite rare. Only in the best vintages. So that say 2001 was an excellent.
While we drink this, what's the difference? So these are all called azu. What does that word mean?
Also means the berry, which is attacked by the Botrytis cinerea, which is an overwrought. And tokaji basically is the name of the vine region. So if you put these two words together, that's going to be the name of the wine properly.
Talk about the one level up, the Essentia.
Yeah.
And the difference between, let's say, a 6 Petunia and that wine.
Yeah. Once you have a chance to come to Hungary and to visit us, do it during the harvest, because that's the time when you can get Essentia for free. We make you taste it. It's a very interesting side product, very expensive as well. Essentia is basically the pure juice of the Botrytis berries. So when we pick it and when we collect it in a huge tank, right, we make a trick. There's a little tap at the bottom of the tank, so we can open it and we get this pure natural juice coming out. So you will have the possibility to taste it if you come over around, let's say, October, November.
Very small case production, right?
Oh, we are not talking about cases, we are
talking
about
bottles. 300 bottles?
200-300 bottles, only also in the best vintages. So it's really for those who are would like to know everything about the vintage, because as we say, it's like a fingerprint of the separate vintages. Once you taste it, you have everything there. You have the sweat of the winemaker, the sweat of the harvesters, you have all the climatic influence of the vintage. Wonderful product. Sugar is very high in Essentia. It's around like 500, 600, 700 grams per liter.
Wow.
Some people in Hungary, those who are very wealthy, they purchase just few bottles or few cases and they feed their kids with Essentia. Because as you might know, due to the Botrytis cinerea, these wines have penicillin. So in the Essentia, the penicillin concentration is much higher. So basically, it's just health and medicine.
Yeah. This also has a lot of orange, apricot, but the key point here is there's a lot of acidity, and it's you can't think of this as just sweetness. The problem is, you know, it goes back to just, I think it really goes back, now this is not obviously expert wine drinkers, but people who are getting into wine, it goes back to the way that these are presented and marketed. And I think that's the key point, because these are wines that are, there's so much going on, there's complexity, they have a long finish, there's minerality, it's not just sweet fruit like many people think, and there's a lot of acidity, and that's why it goes so well with food. They're not overwhelming, they're not, a lot of people also think, oh, I drink 2 sips and I can't take it anymore. I mean, I could drink this whole bottle probably.
Go ahead. Let's see it.
And you know, if you're a little scared to still get into tokaji or dessert wines, then you can almost start with the 3 petunias, because it's $20 and it's a little bit lighter style, probably easier for some people's palates to start with food. But my guess is you're going to like it, and then you know you can try the 5 petunias for a little more money. And like I said, you just have to have a glass, put it in the fridge for 3 weeks, give it a try. It's definitely worth a try. And I know with Asian spicy foods, Thai foods, it's always a challenge. People are always emailing me, asking me, how do you pair with that? And even, you know, expert sommeliers who are pairing with food always have a challenge in that area. And this is a great option.
Just try, just be very, very open. And just give yourself a chance and 1 bottle of wine and cook whatever you want to. The good thing is, as Chris mentioned, it is kept, you can keep it in the fridge like for 2-3 weeks with no problem if you open 1 bottle. So if you try to cook different dishes during 2-3 weeks, feel free just to use the same bottle.
And I imagine it'll change over those 2 weeks into, you know, have a different kind of profile as you're going through. So it could just be a fun experiment in itself. But these are great wines. They're definitely not overwhelming, overpowering, oversweet, which I know are some of the words people use when they don't like these dessert wines. You know what? Compared to some sauternes out there, which is, you know, obviously very well known by people here in the United States, these are very reasonably priced. Believe it or not, you know, it's good.
Yeah, that's a key point.
That's very important, because you know some of the higher end sauternes are just too expensive. So I think this price points are great. $20 the entry level, and you know up to $60 or $50 for the 5 petunias. I think it's a great bottle, especially since you can keep it for a few weeks.
And don't forget that what you said, there's a background of the quality. These wines have been consumed by Louis XIV, by the kings of Transylvania, by the Russian emperors, by the Austrian emperors. So these were very, very renowned
There's a lot
wines.
of history. This was the first classification, was in Hungary, right?
Exactly.
Of ever.
Of the world. The first classification in 1772.
1772.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of history here. You know, a lot of conversation. If you have guests, you know, I think it'd be a very fun wine to open up and to serve with fish and with food. In any event, I really appreciate your time here.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to do my best to get the American population into tokaji. I think they're great, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.